In a world where almost every moment depends on screens, switches, and silent streams of power, there are still communities that choose a different path, not because they are trapped in the past, and not because they do not understand the modern world, but because they believe some forms of convenience come with a cost. So why do the Amish still live without electricity? The Amish are a Christian religious community known for their simple way of life, plain clothing, horse-drawn buggies, and strong sense of separation from mainstream society. Most Amish communities live in the United States, especially in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Indiana, though smaller settlements can be found in other states and in Canada. Though Furlied, their roots go back to Europe, but over generations, they built a distinct way of life in rural North America. To an outsider, Amish life can seem frozen in time. The image is familiar: black buggies on country roads, laundry moving in the wind, farms worked by hand, children walking home from one-room schoolhouses. But Amish life is not simply a rejection of the future. It is a careful system of choices. Each decision about technology is filtered through one question: will this strengthen the community or weaken it? That question shapes daily life, from morning to night. A typical Amish day begins early. In farming communities, the rhythm of work starts with sunrise. Animals need to be fed, cows must be milked, bread may already be rising in the kitchen. Children help with chores before school. Adults move steadily through tasks that require time, patience, and physical effort. Without many modern machines, work is slower, but that slowness is not always seen as a problem. In many Amish homes, it is part of the point. Their houses are often simple but carefully kept. Interiors are plain, practical, and warm. There may be no glowing television in the corner, no background noise from electronic devices, no constant digital interruption. Meals are cooked from scratch. Furniture is built to last. Light may come from windows, oil lamps, gas lamps, or battery-powered systems, depending on the community. In some homes, there is limited use of power from sources that do not connect the family directly to the public electrical grid. This is important because the Amish are not all exactly the same. Different Amish groups follow different rules. Some are stricter, while others allow certain tools, machinery, or limited technologies. The goal is not absolute rejection. The goal is control. They want technology to remain a servant, not become a master. Food is one of the clearest windows into Amish life. In many communities, meals are still centered on what can be grown, preserved, baked, or prepared close to home. Gardens are common. Cellars are used for storage. Canning remains an important skill. Bread, noodles, pies, soups, roasted meats, vegetables, jams, and pickled foods appear often on Amish tables. These are not just traditional foods. They are practical foods, shaped by seasons, farm life, and large family households. Cooking without modern convenience changes the pace of the kitchen. In homes without standard electric appliances, food preparation requires more hands-on work. Stoves may run on wood or gas. Ingredients are mixed, rolled, kneaded, peeled, and preserved by hand. This makes meals more labor-intensive, but also more communal. Cooking is often woven into the structure of family life, rather than separated from it. Amish food is also tied to hospitality. Visitors are often welcomed with generosity. Church gatherings and community events can include long tables filled with homemade dishes. The food reflects something larger than taste. It reflects abundance created through labor, skill, and cooperation. But food is only one part of survival. The Amish do not live in the Arctic or the desert, but they do live with real environmental demands. Winters in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Indiana can be cold and long. Summers can be humid and physically exhausting, especially for people working outdoors. Without depending fully on modern heating, cooling, and digital convenience, Amish households rely on preparation, structure, and endurance. Wood plays a major role in many Amish homes. Wood stoves provide heat through winter. Firewood must be cut, stacked, dried, and managed carefully. This creates work, but it also creates resilience. Families are not only consuming heat, they are involved in producing it. Clothing, too, is part of adaptation. Amish clothing is plain, but it is also functional. Layers, bonnets, hats, shawls, coats, aprons, and durable fabrics help people work through changing seasons. Transportation reflects the same principles. The horse and buggy remains one of the most recognized symbols of Amish life. It is slower than the car, but slowness changes the shape of life itself. It keeps people geographically closer to their communities. It limits unnecessary distance. It changes expectations. In a fast culture, the Amish often accept limits that modern people spend their lives trying to escape. Their traditions are deeply connected to these choices. Simplicity is not just an aesthetic, it is a discipline. Humility is not just a personal trait, it is something reinforced by clothing, community, and custom. Adult baptism is one of the defining moments in Amish life. Young people choose whether to join the church as adults, accepting its rules and responsibilities. This matters because Amish identity is not meant to be automatic. It is meant to be chosen. Schooling is another important piece. Amish children typically attend small local schools and often finish formal education at the 8th grade. From there, learning continues through work, family life, religion, and practical skill. To many outsiders, this seems limiting. To the Amish, it helps prepare children for the lives they are expected to live. The goal is not individual status. It is usefulness, character, and belonging. Religion is woven through everything. Worship takes place in homes rather than large church buildings. Services are long, quiet, and community-centered. Faith is not separated from labor, dress, or social structure. It forms the basis of why many technologies are questioned in the first place. The concern is not that electricity itself is evil. The concern is that easy access to outside influence, entertainment, and individual comfort may slowly weaken family bonds, community accountability, and spiritual focus. This is why the idea of electricity is more symbolic than it first appears. Public electricity connects the home to a wider system, and with that connection can come television, unrestricted internet, constant media, and a stronger pull toward independence from the group. For many Amish communities, this is where the danger lies. Not in the wire itself, but in what the wire invites. Still, Amish life is not untouched by the modern world. Markets, roads, land prices, tourism, and government regulations all shape their reality. Some Amish run businesses that serve non-Amish customers. Some use telephones placed outside the home or in shared structures. Some use diesel engines, solar panels, or battery-powered lights for specific practical reasons. Some hire drivers when long-distance travel is necessary. Their world is not sealed shut. It is negotiated carefully. That careful negotiation is one of the most misunderstood things about the Amish. Many outsiders imagine them as people who simply refuse all change. But in reality, Amish communities debate, test, and judge technologies based on their effects. One community may allow a tool that another rejects. The line is not always where outsiders expect it to be. A machine may be accepted if it supports work without encouraging vanity or isolation. A device may be rejected if it brings too much individual freedom at the expense of shared life. This tension is becoming harder to manage. The modern world moves faster every year. Land becomes more expensive. Young Amish men and women must find ways to support growing families. Farming alone is not always enough, so many turn to woodworking, construction, furniture making, baking, quilt making, and small business. These changes bring more contact with the non-Amish world. They also bring pressure. And yet, despite all of this, the Amish remain one of the clearest examples of a community that still asks a question many modern societies rarely ask at all. Just because something is possible, does that mean it is good? Just because a tool saves time, does that mean it improves life? Just because the world is connected, does that mean people feel closer to one another? The Amish answer these questions in a way that can seem quiet, but it is also deeply radical. They are not trying to win a race against modern life. They are trying to protect a way of living built on interdependence, discipline, faith, and continuity. Their refusal of electricity, in many communities, is not a performance. It is a boundary, a way of saying that human life should not be organized only around speed, ease, and endless access. There is something striking about that in the modern world, not because everyone should live as the Amish do, but because their existence reveals that alternatives are possible. They remind us that convenience is never neutral. Every technology changes not only what we do, but how we relate to time, work, family, silence, and one another. On an Amish road at dusk, as the sound of hooves fades into evening and house lights glow softly without the glare of the modern grid, the world feels different, slower, narrower, perhaps, but also more deliberate. And that may be the real answer. The Amish still live without electricity because they are trying, in their own way, to protect a life they believe is worth more than convenience.